Lifeboat 1610, this is Berlin Coast Guard. Good morning, go channel 0, stand by.
So Adrian, what's so special about this boat?
She's wooden, and I've put a lot of work into her, and she is a ditch crawler, so she's got a lifting keel, takes no water at all, which is really nice in port. You can go pretty much anywhere, almost any state of tide. Lovely to sail, well balanced, and she gets compliments everywhere she goes. Like you can't leave a marina or go up the river in Wareham without somebody going, "Oh, that's a beautiful boat, mate."
Is that why you bought her?
No, well, I bought her because I spotted her at a yard a year or so before I bought her, and I spoke to the guy that owned the yard, and I was like, "Is that a Finesse 24?" and managed to somehow talk the wife into it. I've got a great picture of her sat here, and me with a big grin on my face, and her looking at me like, "Hey."
When you were buying a boat, it was a Finesse that you were after, was it?
No, it wasn't a Finesse that I was after. I wasn't even looking for a boat. A friend of mine, I'd been sailing with a couple of friends on their boats for a couple of years, and I fancied my own boat, but it's just the expense of it. Just I couldn't justify it to the wife. The wife would never agree to it. But then this came up like a very, very sensible price, and we did the maths on it and went, right, okay, this we can afford to do this, and we can afford to put her on a swing mooring for a few years, use some of our savings, and then use her for a few years, and then sell her on and not be too much out of pocket.
So the only obstacle, or the only two obstacles to get you out into the sea, are the bridges.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, it's the two pool bridges. One's called Twin Sails, and the other one's the Old Town Bridge. They open every hour, and you go through one, wait in the little waiting area, and then you go through the other one. And they're the Old Town Bridge is it's old. It's been there for donkey's years, and where the Twin Sails is the newer one to try and relieve some of the traffic. And it's a beautiful piece of engineering, but I think it's maybe they erred a little bit too much on the form versus the function. Takes a little time. Takes quite a while to open.
But is it one of those things that now that you're used to it, you just take it as normal?
Yeah. No, you sort of once you get used to timings, it's timing the not so much coming out, because you just get to the boat and look at the clock and go, "Oh, it's 1:15. Let's head out." And but coming back is quite tricky. You can, obviously if you get it wrong, you can be sat there for an hour waiting for the bridge to open. But if you get it right, and like we have a few times, we've powered up through at 4.5, 5 knots, powered up through, and just as the bridge is open, people have gone through, and we've just gone straight through and timed it perfectly. But then like today, you judge where you are, and maybe you might put the engine on if you're maybe think you're running a little bit late, or you go, actually no, we've got a bit of time, or yes, the wind's a bit light and we're not going very quickly, but we'll just trickle along and we'll get there just in time. It was a cheap boat that was going to be work, and I enjoy, I'm a hands-on guy. I'm mechanical, and electricals are no issue for me. So it was kind of like, oh yeah, we can do this for a sensible amount of money, and so we bought her and took her down to Ridge Wharf, and over winter last year we got her going. And
did she need an awful lot of restoration or not?
The restoration side, in terms of bringing her mechanically up, would all been done by the previous owner. He spent a lot of money getting this done. She's had new centre plate, new deck, new coach roof. There's a refurbished Yanmar 2GM in there, new cutlass bearing, new gland, one of the new fancy PSS book glands, and just so much stuff to list. It's just insane. And there was no electrics in it. Well, there was some electrics in it when I got her, but and there was a battery, but there was no switch, no very little cabling was there. None of the lights, navigation lights or anything like that was on. There was a lot of work. There was a lot of work.
What's can you run through her dimensions? She's 24
feet length overall, but she's a big 24. She's quite beamy. I can't remember what the beam is, but she's quite beamy. There's loads of space, and that forepeak is over 2 meters to end to end, and it's, other than the fact that it comes in, it's bigger than my double bed at home. It's huge. That's where we sleep, when me and the wife sleep when we come on air, and we've got a little shelf which we stick the laptop on and watch stuff we've downloaded off of Netflix. She only takes 0.7 meters with the keel, with the centre plate up, which means we can go anywhere. But then with the keel down, she takes 2 meters and will actually sail upwind reasonably well. I mean, for a boat of this type, she's no racer, but
what is she like to sail?
She's beautifully balanced, especially once you get when the wind comes up and you put a reef in the main. You can let go of the tiller for hours and she'll just keep going in the same direction. In lighter winds, she does require a little bit of weather helm. You can, and she's very pointy. You can let go of the tiller, like even on the motor. You can let go of it, as you saw earlier on today. You can let go of the tiller and she goes pretty much where you want it. I put the auto helm on when I'm putting the main up and down when I'm on my own and stuff like that, just to make life a little bit less stressful. But no, she's beautiful.
And where's your cruising grounds?
Poole Harbour mostly, and just outside. We go down to Studland and Swanage, and earlier on this year, a few weeks ago now, we went across to Lymington, and the wife loved that. That was her first decent length trip on the boat. We left at 6 o'clock in the morning, just as the sun was coming up, to get the tides right, and she came up to help get out and just sort of make sure everything was all right. And then once we got out the harbour, there wasn't a lot of wind in the harbour, and it was blowing in the wrong direction. Once we got out the harbour, she went back to bed, and we were pretty close on the wind. We were crashing through a little bit of swell, because there was a little bit of wind over tide, and crashing through the swell fairly hard on, not on the wind, but fairly hard on the wind, crashing, and she slept through it all. Like 3 hours of then she got up and went, "Oh, we almost there yet?" like boats crashing through the waves and she's just asleep. It's brilliant.
But you do a lot of solo sailing though, don't you?
I do a reasonable amount, yeah, because a lot of the sailing I do is midweek.
And do you prefer solo sailing?
No, I like to have a couple of a person or two with me. It's I like a bit of both. It's nice to have that alone time sometimes.
Tell me about the boatyard you're in, because it's quite unique and special, isn't it?
Yeah, Davis's is a family-run yard. You wouldn't, unless you knew it was here, you wouldn't really know it was here, because it's next door, backs onto Cobb's Quay, which is an MDL marina, and it's just a single pontoon and a yard with storage and stuff, and it's family run, and it's really friendly. It's a nice tight knit community. You talk.
I mean, Poole Harbour is massive, as everybody knows.
Yeah.
I mean, where would you go if you went a day's sailing?
Well, generally speaking, because of where Davis's is, it's in the middle, pretty much in the middle of the harbour. So you go through the bridges, out the other side, and you come out to sort of Poole Quay. And then you have a choice. You either turn right and go towards Lake Pier and Wareham, or you turn left and go towards the entrance. So you look at the winds, look at the tides, and go, today I think I might go to Wareham, or today I think I might go to Swanage, or where wife comes out for a sail for an afternoon, and then we'll anchor up round the back of Brownsea or South Deep round near Fursey or Long Island, or round the back of Arm, depending on what direction the wind is blowing. And then we'll have an evening on the boat, and then come back sort of in the morning, sail back in the morning, and go back to doing what we were doing.
But she's got to go, hasn't she?
Yep. the wife has determined that if we want to spend any more than a couple of nights on a boat, then need something just a little bit bigger. So standing headroom, and something like an oven would be nice as well. The wife Claire wants an oven to be able to cook on.
So you've given in and decided to sell.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it would be nice to keep her, but it's that trade-off of happy wife, happy life, isn't it?